You know, it was a time in my younger, greener days. If I met a chick who was attractive and she was feeling herself and referred to herself as a baddie, I might say to myself, okay, she got some confidence about herself. I could rock with that. But the Freeze of today, the more seasoned, wiser, gamed up Freeze, hey man, I meet a chick today and she calling herself a baddie. She just might get that juicy fruit car door. You dig?
They'll be on the outside looking in when you get the longer-lasting Juicy Fruit car door. Let's watch.
Juicy Fruit's longer lasting. Give me some!
Whoa, denied.
Yeah, man, denied, man. You dig? But we gonna talk about why. But first, wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Let's go.
But you want all this pimping you can't afford. Perform like a punk, but wanna win his reward. Some suckers give you points, but bitch, you never scored. If you ain't paying pimping, then bitch, you getting ignored.
Okay.
I'm so sick of these.
Okay, so let me paint this picture for y'all, right? You involved with this young lady, and you go with her to her family's house to have dinner. And she makes you a plate. But before she hands you the plate, she hands the plate to her little sister. Let her little sister get a few little niblets off your plate. Then she passed the plate to they mama. The mama take a few little niblets off the plate. Then they pass it to the uncle. The uncle, he take a few little niblets. Then he passes it to the dog. The dog get a few little nibbles off your plate. And then the dog passes it to the cat. The cat gets some nibbles. And then it don't stop there. They pass the cat. The cat passes the plate next to the mouse hole. The mouse pokes his head out the hole and get a few little nibbles off the plate. Then they pass the plate to you. How would you feel in that situation? What would you do in that situation, right? You would be like, hell no. I ain't about to deal with these leftovers. You know what I mean? You ain't about to give me no bunch of leftovers. Everybody else done pick the best parts of the plate off, and then, you know, you leave me with the scraps. Hell no. Well, hey, man, that's what a lot of these quote-unquote baddies do with fly individuals like myself and yourself, right? Hey, man, they think that just because their physical appearance is, you know, easy on the eyes, that makes them a quote-unquote baddie, right? But with a lot of them, that's the extent of their baddiness, right? Their bad bitchness goes no further than the physical appearance. You know, they not official and beneficial beyond the superficial. The superficial is where it stops, you dig? And man, a lot of these chicks, you know, they don't have a concept of, you know, investing in themselves and developing themselves as a woman. And also they don't have a concept of, you know, accountability, like we say all the time. And, you know, with that being the case, they make mistakes and they don't even recognize the mistakes that they make as mistakes, right? And, you know, a lot of them, man, they will run themselves through the mud and give suckers, the worst dudes, the best years of their life, and then come to you with the scraps of their life and expect you to not only accept it, but, you know, want to, you know, build it up again. You know, like their life is a train wreck. They done made their life into a train wreck. You know, they done pushed their life off a mountain and broke all the bones in their life. You know what I mean? They done whooped their life to, you know, they done beat their life to smithereens. And, you know, they come to you and expect you to put all the pieces together, man. They done gave suckers the best years of their life. You know, they got multiple baby daddies with multiple different suckers. And that's a clear indication that, you know, she obviously doesn't have the best discernment. She don't make the best choices. You know, you ever notice that these chicks that call themselves baddies, man, they give the worst guys the best years of their life. You know, they'll have 2 or 3 babies by 2 or 3 different suckers and weirdos, and then, you know, come to you and expect you to accept all the baggage. And then again, like I said, help her put the pieces back together, man. Hey, a fly ninja ain't got no business dealing with anything like that, man. Me, myself, I'm cool. I ain't dealing with none of that, you know, because I'm not coming to her with all of that. I'm not coming to no chick, you know what I mean, giving her the worst of myself. Nah, just the way I'm built, my nature, it's a given that you're going to get the best of me, right? I don't know how to water myself down and give a chick a watered down version of myself. Nah, you know, I work hard to be my best, and therefore you're going to naturally get my best if I involve myself with you, right? So, you know, I can't mess with no chick that got, you know, a whole bunch of weird baby daddies, or even if they ain't baby daddies, she just been, you know, dealing with suckers and busters and weirdos, and, you know, she got all kind of baggage. You know, she got her credit is terrible. She done ran that in the mud. You know, she can't put nothing in her name. She can't even have a bank account. You know, her record is bad. She got, you know, F's on her report card. She on probation, on 2 different probations, and she can't go nowhere. And you know what I mean? Just, you know, this is the life of a quote unquote baddie. A lot of them chicks that you be seeing on Instagram, this be their life. Them chicks, you know what I mean, with the fat ass and, you know, twerking, and, you know, the only thing she know how to do is look good. She don't know how to cook. She don't know how to braid. She don't know how to sew. She don't know how to do nothing. She don't know how to clean. She don't even know how to wash dishes. All she know how to do is look good. Them chicks that you be seeing on Instagram that all they do know how to do is look good, behind the scenes, man, this be what they be having going on, right? And these are the ones who refer to themselves as a quote unquote baddie. That's why, you know what I mean, pimp like myself, I can't have nothing to do with it, man. And if you a fly ninja, then you shouldn't have nothing to do with it either, right? And a lot of cats are fooled by that. They get mesmerized by a chick's looks. You know what I mean? She got an hourglass figure in the face to remember, and you just get lost and you forget everything else. That's the only thing you can remember is the way she look. You forget about everything else, right? But you don't even consider what you involving yourself in and what you signing up for, man. You know, and the cold part about it, like I said, they'll give the worst dudes the best years of their life, and then they end up being a worse individual than they were when they was dealing with those guys. You would think that a chick would learn from those experiences and become better, but no. If they got kids by these different weirdos, you know, they not good mothers. You know, they kids are scattered all over the land like the 12 tribes of Israel. You know, they irresponsible, just beaten down by life. And the only thing that they got left going for themselves is the way that they look. And, you know, fortunately for them types of chicks, it's an abundance of suckers out there that's all they care about is the way a chick look and the way a chick can make them feel. You know, and it don't matter if her life is a train wreck. You know, they gonna halfway try to help her put it back together and apply more effort than she will to that. You know, and put some money in her pocket just because of the way that she looks, you dig? And that be the thing too, man. A lot of them chicks, man, like I said, they'll come to you with their life as a train wreck and expect you to help them put it back together, but it's a futile endeavor. You know, like I said, I learned at a young age, man, when you get involved with chicks like that, what it ends up being is, because you got to understand how she got to that point. She got to that point by being an irresponsible person. And you as a responsible person, if you get involved with her, and as a man and a leader, you naturally gonna want to, you know, put in an effort to make things better in her life. But what it's gonna end up being is a situation where you putting in more effort and you have more concern for her life becoming better than she does. You know, she's that way for a reason. Her life is the way it is for a reason. You dig? So, and the beautiful thing is, these aren't the only women in the world. Hey man, it's, you know, it's so many beautiful, qualified women out there, man. Hey, you ain't got no time and no business involving yourself with somebody that's less than and settling just because of the way somebody look, man. But yeah, man, them quote unquote baddies, quote unquote bad bitches, I'm cool. You dig? I like the ones that's fine, that don't even know they fine. You dig? The ones that's sexy that don't even know it. You know, humble. You know what I mean? Got a whole lot of humility about theyself and fine as hell, you dig? Let that marinate on your mind one time, freezes it. Go ahead, put some of this good old love in your body like so. And of course, as always, long live the incomparable Sinful to P. We out. Dig this.
Yeah.
I been stroking relentless to get waves like this. I spoke into existence for her to pay like this. In the trenches on a day like this, traffic consistent, and so I have to insist that she relay my chips. It's a trap with her name on it and my game on it. Any forces coming against this game, shame on it. Standing on my pimping from day one and remain on it. It carried me through every terrain and I gained on it. Experience joy and pain on it, sustained on it.
But getting back to this game that I never left.
Hey, where you been?